Hi, I'm Whitney Espich, the CEO of the MIT Alumni Association, and I hope you enjoy this digital production created for alumni and friends like you.
Class of 2021, friends, and families, welcome to this year's very special Senior Toast. I'm Yara, the class secretary, and I'm excited to be spending tonight with you all as the event's moderator. After 4 years of dealing with the ups and downs of MIT, it's finally time for us to honor the graduating class. So let's get this started. I can think of no better person to kick us all off than Kofi Blake, the senior class president. Kofi has dedicated almost every day since stepping foot on campus to representing the class, and having worked alongside him during this time, I can tell you that he's done a phenomenal job. Please help me in welcoming Kofi.
Thank you, Yara, for that introduction, and thank you to everyone who's taken the time to be with us this evening. During normal years, Senior Toast is a special time for a class to come together and celebrate each other and our accomplishments. It's also a class council favorite to run because it's one of the few institute-sponsored events where MIT lets us drink on their dime. And although current circumstances prevent us from being in person, class council has worked very hard to put together a program that we hope you'll be proud of. You know, the past year has been straight up unpredictable with the amount of twists and turns that have been thrown at us. But even in the face of so many challenges, we overcome them the same way that we always have, by leaning on the strength of our community. The community that we've built in the MIT class of 2021 is one of future world-class scholars, entrepreneurs, innovators, engineers, lawyers, politicians, activists, artists, athletes, astronauts, and the list goes on and on. But what the parents and guardians watching may not know is that our community is also one of Uber Eats powered all-nighters, noise complaint ridden parties, and sometimes postmodern memes. Tonight, our goal is to showcase that community. It really has been an honor to serve as the president of such a wonderful group for the past 4 years. And in MIT terms, the impact that you all have had on my life has certainly been non-trivial. I often think back on the events that we've thrown over the years and how integral you all have been to my MIT experience. After all, there is no class council without the class. One of the fondest memories I have was watching Black Panther in a theater full of MIT 2021s. I mean, there is just no greater experience than being in a theater full of MIT kids during a Marvel movie on opening night. If you know, you know. And it's not just the movie nights, but the study breaks and the merch orders and the field trips and everything else has all been so meaningful to me and to the rest of class council. The outpouring of gratitude that we would receive every time we threw an event was what gave us the motivation to hop into the next meeting, or nowadays, the next Zoom call, and do it all over again. And make no mistake, these past few years would not have been successful without the hard work of such a dedicated team of council members. I hope that tonight gives you a chance to take a break from the never-ending grind and reflect on your personal MIT experience and the people that have made this place home. You can expect a variety of segments, including a poem, a chance to win some prizes, and a closing statement from our very own President Rife. Please stick around to enjoy everything that we've got lined up for you because you are bound to enjoy it. Lastly, I'd like to give a shout out to my parents who have supported me throughout my time at MIT and who has been a source of unwavering encouragement and strength. I love you guys, and there better not be a recording of this on Facebook anytime soon. With all that said, I'd like to raise a glass to the MIT class of 2021. To my fellow classmates, the best is yet to come. And I want you to remember that even though our time at the Institute was cut short, the lifelong friendships that you've already made here and the lifelong memories that you'll forever cherish are what it means to have truly found paradise. Thank you and welcome to Senior Toast. And now I'll hand it back to Yara.
Thank you, Kofi, for that welcome. There have been so many positive experiences to reflect on and so many lessons to take away from our time at MIT. Besides learning how to balance over like 101 different commitments and becoming an expert packer, one of the most shocking lessons for me was that MIT students are in no way the two-dimensional figures that we tend to get cast as. So many people seem to assume that MIT students can only think in numbers or lines of code. To prove otherwise, I want to introduce our next presenter and a fellow member of our class, Afifa Kazi Sayed. Afifa will be reading a poem titled A Mountain Called MIT.
Thank you, Yara. Class of 2021, friends, family, faculty, thank you all so much for being here tonight and for all of your support over the past few years. Shout out to my family who's watching. As Yara mentioned, today I'll be reading a poem that I wrote titled A Mountain Called MIT. And just to talk a little bit about what inspired this poem, as many of my classmates will tell you, when we first got admitted a few years ago, something that we would be told a lot is that MIT builds this really diverse group in class to come and climb a mountain. And I think that for the class of 2021 in particular, the mountain has shifted forms and added all new obstacles along the way. And I hope that I can kind of capture the essence of that with this poem. Maybe one day we'll be sitting together again. I'll tell you about the time I stepped out of a car onto the stretch of pavement called Massachusetts Avenue. And I'll tell you how there was a sun shower. The sun spoke of early morning walks across Killian with the Texan roommate, and the drop spoke of late nights survived by trips to this place called La Verde's. It all feels so familiar now, like pieces of our souls have found homes along the infinite, and pieces of the infinite have found homes in our souls. We know what the humming of the AC in Barker sounds like, what the white light of stud 5 in the middle of the night feels like, the timing of lobby 7 street lights, and the smell of the air just before it's about to snow. We know the feeling of feeling like masked tricksters bumping from one accidental blessing to another in a pinball machine called imposter syndrome. The panic and adrenaline on the walks to Walker Hall, the feeling of feeling like we will never be enough. We have built homes here. In the nooks of dorm rooms and non-apartment walls, between friends and floor mates and GRAs and TAs and dining staff and dinners with faculty and the crowd of increasingly familiar faces. You ask me where we go from here. How do we uproot ourselves and find ground again? Who are we when we are not labeled by this place called MIT? And so I'll tell you about the time we packed our rooms and our lives faster than we could say goodbye, not once, but many a times. And as nomadic college students on the fly, we discovered just how much there is to learn and to unlearn. Of all the hidden battles we are surrounded by, when we abandon our tunneled eyes, we are learning to be kind to ourselves and to one another, to accept our wrongs and dedicate ourselves to the right to check up on the friend or the acquaintance we haven't heard from, to remember the villages that have raised us, to find beauty and grace in the mundane, to seek the difference between the performative and the genuine, to analyze and criticize the impacts and impressions we make, to trust and be preachers of science, to look beyond our MacBooks and our textbooks and educate ourselves, to use our voices to commit and recommit to anti-racism, allyship, and inclusivity, to hold ourselves, our friends, our classmates, our families, and our educators to accountability, to remind one another of the things we share in our shared humanity. Class of 2021, in every possible way, this will not be goodbye, because we might be reaching the end of this mountain expedition we call MIT, but we are only beginning to uncover the many more mountains we need to climb. So I look forward to the time when we sit together again.
Thank you for that incredible poem, Afifa, and for so eloquently compacting the emotions so many of us have felt. I found myself snapping alone in my room at so many different lines, only to realize how strange I probably looked. I will also plug that Afifa is currently working on a joint collection of poems about the immigrant experience and diaspora with other MIT students, so be on the lookout for her future work. It would be wrong of us to reflect on our time at MIT and our time as a class without mentioning what brought us together and still connects us. The Class of 2021 Facebook page, the place where so many of us posted cringeworthy bios to introduce ourselves as pre-prosh that our friends still tag us in to this day. I literally saw someone get tagged yesterday. Since being added onto the page, there's been a never-ending flow of great content, and we've compiled some of the greatest moments on the page to remind you of these moments. Take a look. There were so many gems there between the Floridians braving their first Massachusetts winter, dining hall residents trying to survive their first IAP cooking. But I definitely could have lived without the fee flashbacks and the reminder that I missed out on the early Bitcoin investment. Next up in our agenda, I'd like to introduce someone who is instrumental in putting together tonight's event and so many others for the class, Tema Nwana, the class vice president. For everyone who knows Tema, you know that her energy and friendliness is unmatched. If you somehow haven't met Tema, her class council address will speak for itself.
Good evening, parents, grandparents, siblings, staff, faculty, President Reif, and most importantly, the graduating students of MIT 2021. My name is Tema Nwana, and I am our class's vice president. Having this most esteemed honor of being able to speak to you tonight, while a blessing, especially over Zoom and with my British accent, It may be also a little bit hard to really communicate my message to you all clearly. So, to help me express and articulate my true thoughts, I've invited my personal translator, Zion, to join me here tonight.
I am never gonna forgive Kofi for making me do this.
As I was saying, I am truly so honored and blessed to be speaking to you all today at our senior toast.
Absolutely no one on class council wanted to do it, so Kofi forced me to.
Every word I say tonight truly comes from the heart, and I hope each and every one of you is left with feelings of hope and pride.
I wrote this at 2 a.m. this morning, and let's be honest, y'all are probably just on TikTok or Facebook right now anyway, but I'm gonna act like y'all are smiling and listening and enjoying yourself to get through this.
Pride in knowing that we gave it our all, worked day in and day out, hundreds of lectures watched, hours of lab time spent, thousands of lines written, countless all-nighters pulled, and even a few tears shed from time to time. But hey, wasn't it all worth it? Absolutely.
Not.
Because now we get the honor that so few can only dream of, the ability to say that we earned our right to be handed a diploma by the Massachusetts Institute of Technology.
Well, I guess emailed or mailed our diploma this time, because our commencement's virtual now. Was that joke a little bit too soon?
Maybe a little. But hey, let us remember, while we as students deserve this moment to be truly proud of ourselves, it is imperative that we thank all those that helped make this achievement possible. Firstly, I'd like to express a huge thank you to our parents, guardians, and family members for helping us get here and stay here. The sacrifices that you made, especially financially. I mean, $70,000 per year is a lot of money. So, to all of our families watching, I just want to take this time to ease all of your worries and concerns, so you know that all of that was put to good use and helped only to foster our academic prosperity.
Yeah, so thanks for funding my internship through Misty, our 3-story school gym that I only use so people would think I was actually in shape, tent parties, my Xfinity on-campus account, all the libraries that I don't even know the locations of, and most importantly, all of the classes that I never went to and only watched recordings of.
But not only that, thank you so much to all our loved ones for being so supportive of us and showing how proud you are that we go to MIT. Knowing that us attending this school puts such a big smile on your face never gets old.
Unless you count the times that you called me at 10 a.m. on Sunday morning when you knew I was asleep, so that you could put me in contact with your sister's college boyfriend's best friend's second niece once removed, who I have never met before, and is 7 years old, to give them advice about how to get into MIT.
Next, I'd like to thank our professors. Thank you for challenging us to think critically in ways we never thought we could, encouraging us to sign up for classes that we come to love and leave inspired from, and to imagine that one day we could be you, helping to teach the next generation of leaders. Now, of course, you weren't able to teach us everything. We only had 4 years, but we got to know all the most important things. I mean, do I know how to file my taxes?
No.
Do I know how to change a tire?
No.
Do I actually have any clue how our government is run?
Heck no.
Maybe not.
But if I'm ever asked by my local representatives about the direction of a force the electrons are exerting on a wire, if the electrons are moving in a positive I-hat direction, I've got the right-hand rule memorized and ready to go.
Like I said, I know the important things. Next, thank you to all our staff, whether you were cooking our food, cleaning the buildings, guiding our student organizations, coaching our teams, keeping us healthy, helping us find jobs, or just making sure we survive. We owe it to you for doing all the jobs that often the world doesn't pay attention to and honor enough.
Except for those few times where you served us mystery meat that, to this day, is still quite a mystery, or when you made our entire team run laps and do push-ups at practice because only one of us was 3 minutes late.
Next, I'd like to thank the MIT administration. It goes without saying that you had to lead this institution through some of its most difficult and unprecedented times. And while we may not always appreciate what you do or understand the decisions you make, we are grateful for what you have done to quite literally keep this school going.
Probably best not to make a joke, Rife is here.
Thank you to the admissions office for accepting us and surrounding each one of us with over 1,000 of the greatest minds and hearts that this world could give. Choosing the mere 7% out of over 10,000 can be no easy task. But clearly, with the classmates you chose to call our friends, you did a pretty great job.
But if I'm being completely honest, I have no idea why you accepted me. Your girl literally wrote a rap as one of her essay responses, and each time I retook an SAT subject test, I got a worse score.
Next, I'd like to thank our heads of house, GRTs, GRAs, for being so caring and supportive and honestly taking on sort of a parental role when so many of us needed it, whilst hundreds or even thousands of miles away from home. Thank you for sharing your funny stories from your crazy college days, giving us life advice, and always checking in to see how you were doing.
But most importantly, thank you for looking the other way and acting like everything was completely fine when you heard at the very least 15 students in one Baker double blasting music when some interesting smells were coming from the room at 1 a.m. on a Friday night. Or would that technically be Saturday morning?
Next, I'd like to thank a very special group that unfortunately cannot be here with us tonight, the Tourists from the Infinite. Thank you for quite possibly being our biggest fans, whether it was stopping in the middle of the hallway to take a picture,
And making us late to class,
or stopping us in the middle of the hallway to take our picture,
and making us late to class,
or stopping in the middle of the hallway just to stare at us and not even take a picture.
and making us miss our entire class.
It is an honor to be your personal celebrities. And also, a special thanks and shout out to Stack Overflow, Math Exchange, Course Hero Free Trials, OpenCourseWare, Khan Academy, will check.
More like do the entirety of or give me all the answers to
My PSETs. And finally, and most importantly, I'd like to thank the students, my fellow classmates. Thank you to the Burton Third Bombers for showing us that ABC means more than just the alphabet. Thank you to the members of East Campus for reminding us that we are never too old to wrestle each other in a pool of ramen noodles. And thank you to the athletes for reminding us that even D3 sports can be fun to watch and partake in. And thank you to all of you for reading our emails and attending all of our class council events.
That's a lie. Y'all didn't show up to anything if it didn't have food or movie premiere in the title.
And most of all, thank you so much to each and every one of you. Whether you've been a best friend since day one or someone that I just friended on Facebook yesterday, thank you for inspiring me to be the best that I could be. For being a shoulder to cry on at my lowest and being my biggest supporter at my best. For ensuring that no matter how tough it got at this school or in life, that there's no place I'd rather be. It's because of all of you that every time I look at the ring on my right hand, I'm reminded of why I chose to stay here no matter how many PSETs kept me up at night. And that while many will say Disney World is the most magical place on earth, it is here, and each of us can say, I have truly found paradise.
And that actually, very rarely do I hate this
Zion, Rife is here.
fun place.
Thank you. And I'd like to take a quick moment to give a special shout out to my mom and dad. Thank you for all the sacrifices you have made for me over the years and for moving heaven and earth and to a new country for me to have the best life. And thank you to Debbie and Martin for staying awake at 1 a.m. in England to watch and help raise me as well.
And thank you to my friends and family back home, supporting me from across the country and always believing in me when I lacked faith in myself. Thank you to the boys in my fraternity who are always there for me and continue to be, and the guys in Chocolate City who taught me what acceptance really looks like. Lastly, thank you to everyone watching that ever helped me with a PSET or a project. There's been so many of you over the years, and I can confidently say that without you, I would never have made it this far. Thank you all for the incredible journey that these past 3.5 years have been.
And with that, let us raise our glasses and toast to all the people we have to be thankful for, even if sometimes we make backhanded jokes and don't always show our appreciation.
Thank you, Tama and Zion, for that incredible speech. Now in our program, we want to take a short break from all the speaking and give you all the opportunity to compete for a cool yet mysterious prize. We'll be playing a game of trivia, and today's game show hosts are our very own class treasurer, Jonathan Tago, and class president, Kofi Blake. I will pass this off to Tago and Kofi, who will tell you how to get started and win big by showcasing your knowledge of class of 2021 trivia.
All right. Good evening, everybody. I hope everyone is well on this gracious, perfectly normal virtual senior toast. Like she said, my name is Jonathan, but you can call me Tego. You probably won't be talking to me, but you can call me Tego. All right, you already know Kofi. So tonight, yes, will be a game of trivia. It will be not only a test of your MIT knowledge, but also an opportunity to win a pretty cool prize. She said mysterious because it's not only a mystery to you, it's a mystery to us right now as well. But trust me, you will be winning something if you are the leader of this game. So first off, make sure you're on your webcast and you sign in with your MIT email, your Kerberos, in order to track your points and everything. Overall, get ready to have a pretty fun game. Hopefully, before we couldn't go outside, you did go outside and explore MIT and everything. So it should be all good. Kofi, are you ready?
Yes, I am ready. And I really hope you guys enjoy what we have for you tonight. This Jeopardy game is really going to test your knowledge on everything about MIT and everything about our class. So let's get it started.
Yep. And also, you're gonna probably be hearing like some banter and everything between me and Kofi. It's gonna be pretty funny, hopefully. But overall, like I hope this resonates with your personal MIT experience and everything. So please snap at home if you find something you relate to, and yeah, have a fun senior toast. Should be all good. Kofi, any last words?
I hope you took 3091.
Yeah, that is actually pretty big. Okay. All right, that participant list is filling out right now. Looking pretty good. Stiff competition. Hopefully you guys are not padding it out with your family members or, your second cousin's niece or whatever to get more points.
Why not? That's what I'd be doing.
I guess, but like that's not very fair. They haven't even gone to MIT. You're just giving them the answers and everything. That's not cool. Like,
come on, you gotta increase the chances at winning this mystery prize, no matter what it takes. I wonder what this prize could be. Is it a gaming console? Is it an Amazon?
Okay, let's not reveal too much, man. Questions are up. So first off, what object did Professor Grossman tell us to always take with us to frat parties? Like we said, 391. What do you know? What you don't know? I took 391. That was pretty fun. Much better than 5111 in my opinion.
Yeah, some of us had to take 5111. We didn't get a chance to meet Jaden Smith and like you guys.
I wasn't even there. I think I had class like that must have been a year I did.
Jaden Smith came. It's unfortunate.
Yeah, it's not fun. It's not fun. It's pretty unfortunate. Okay. Next question should be up. Nice. I'm currently 209th, so it should be fun.
Keep it going.
All right. What is John Bush's favorite vacation getaway? The Shadow Realm, the Shaded Realm, the Shadow Region, the Shaded Region. Now, I had John Bush for 1802, and that was not the greatest experience on earth at MIT, I have to tell you.
What? You didn't enjoy seeing drawing balls show up on every single exam?
I did not. Like, that's objectively untrue. That if anyone were to say I enjoyed that, they'd be lying. Like, no, I don't want my mom to hear this, but that was not a great time. But I guess you just heard it. All right, I'm currently 177th. Nice.
Question number 3. What is the tallest building in Cambridge as of right now? Is it Site 4? Is it the Green Building? Is it the Akamai Tower? Or is it the Harvard Clock Tower? This is a hard question. I don't even know the answer to this.
Yeah, me neither, man. Campus has been changing every year, basically every minute since we've been here. It's quite amazing, honestly. But I guess that's what the times.
If there's one thing about MIT, there's definitely construction happening literally all the time.
Yeah, and especially it gets in the way when you're trying to get to class. Ryan Killian, right in Lobby 7, always something going on. Okay, currently 182nd. I'm not really doing too well. So in what direction does Professor Dormashkin, 801 professor, if you don't know, write on his clear whiteboard? Iconic. Left to right, right to left, bottom to top, or he doesn't even write anything. It's all computer generated infographics or something.
Man, let me tell you, those videos that Professor Dormashkin made, really got me through 801. Like I was struggling, I was suffering, and I remember watching them literally in the hour before the exam to try to cram some information to pass this class.
Oh yeah, man. Like everyone knows the nickname for Damashkin amongst like 2021. He's pretty important amongst us. All right, 198th, doing great.
Question number 5. What is the actual meaning of IHTFP?
Everyone knows this.
Is it integers have true fraction potential?
Everyone knows this.
Is it interns hate typing formal Python? Or is it the other two? I honor 10th fun parties, or I have truly found paradise?
We have to see, man. There's only one true answer. Everyone knows that. Only one real experience you kind of get at MIT, which is very untrue. I'm just joking.
Maybe the one true answer isn't even on the screen because it's not family friendly.
Yeah. All right, all right. So 280th, that's perfect for me. All right, so how high is Harvard's grade inflation? Now, I personally don't really like knocking the school down the road, you know, not all the time. Like, come on, they're doing their own thing. They shouldn't be that serious. But you know, we have our rumors, we have like little things we say about them. What do you think about their grade inflation? Average grades an A, an A minus, a B. What do you think?
That is honestly a good question. But I think the MIT Harvard rivalry is definitely something, definitely a part of the MIT student experience here. Man, we've got 378 people playing right now. That is a lot of participants. How many smoots long is the Massachusetts Avenue Bridge?
I think I don't really remember the story of the whole Smoot thing, right? It was like they just had some guy named Smoot and they're like, let's measure this entire bridge by his height or something, right?
I think it has something to do with the frat, or I don't know. They told it to us on some tour that I wasn't paying that much attention to.
Ah, okay. That's interesting. Bam. So moving on, next question should be up by now. I think. Let's see. 333. Okay. So during orientation, we definitely know this, right? What phone number did we allegedly have to memorize at orientation? Like, I don't even have to look at the answer choices. I know it by heart. I'm trying to see if y'all know it by heart. So let's get those answers in.
Man, you know, I don't even remember having to memorize this number. I feel like I'm missing out on something. Is it, I think the number is 8675309? I think it's that one.
Maybe, I don't really know. I never had to call it. But shoot, they just wanted to make sure we were safe, you know? First years going out into the big wide world of MIT. Like, who knows? Who knows what we could get into? Okay.
This next question. How many windows does Simmons have? I hope you've been paying attention if you were ever a Simmons resident. You know, counting the amount of windows that your building has. You've probably never done that, but if you have, hopefully you can get ahead in this moment right now.
For real. I hope you every day you just counted each window individually or something like that, you know, get it drilled right into your head. Have you ever eaten at Simmons? I heard it bangs. I heard it's actually like one of the best dining halls on campus.
I've also heard that about Simmons Dining, but I've never gotten the chance to go there.
Dang, that's pretty unfortunate. Guess we'll never get the chance to again. Thanks, COVID.
Wow.
Yes, that was very bleak, but it's the truth.
Wow. Question number 10. It's still loading on my screen. The actor portraying which character from Disney Channel's Good Luck Charlie began working in the Media Lab in 2017? Which actor is this? Is it Charlie, PJ, Gabe, or Teddy? Man, that is a show that I have not seen in quite a long time. What about you, Tego?
It was a classic. It was a classic. Watch it not religiously, but like when it was on, I didn't turn it off exactly. You know, it was pretty good. It's pretty good. All right. Which building is furthest from Lobby 7? Now, we both live in Newhouse, so we already know there's like a half-mile trek over to the main campus building. But apparently there are buildings even farther away. Like it's actually kind of wild. Like MIT is a pretty huge campus.
MIT is a huge campus. Also, you said you lived in Newhouse. Where inside Newhouse did you live?
Chocolate City. You already know this because you also live there. There's no point. There's no point doing that.
See.
All right. So, how many course numbers are there? So like 6-1, 6-2, 6-3, they don't count. And the letter majors like SCS, CMS also don't count, unfortunately. Sorry to everyone who's in that major, but how many course numbers are there? It's quite a lot.
Man, even though I helped to make this quiz, I have no clue what some of these answers are. Like, it really could be 20 or 23, 25 for all that matters.
Yeah, but there's only one that actually no, let me not say anything like that. I was gonna say course 2 is kind of the superior one, but that's a little too spicy for right now.
Course 16 forever.
Okay.
In what
Mhm,
year
mhm.
was the first MIT class held? Was it in 1861, 1863, or was it in 1865 or 1869? What are you guys thinking? When was MIT founded? And when was the first class held?
No idea, but those all look like Civil War years, I guess, right? Kofi, Mr. History buff.
Yeah, definitely around there, around that time.
Cool. All right. Currently 372nd. Okay, now how do you spell the state in which MIT is located? It's a little complicated. It's kind of hard. I don't get it right every time. But yeah, is it Massachusetts with 2 S's, 2 T's, with 1 S? Other ways to spell it, like there's only one right way to spell it. It's up to you.
Honestly, thank God for autocorrect whenever I have to write out Massachusetts, because Lord knows I still get this wrong,
Yeah.
especially being a native Floridian.
Okay, we have way too much in common. It's actually kind of weird. It's actually kind of strange.
Phil,
Okay.
I'm feeling pretty tired, so I think I'm gonna blank this P set. Is it kick? Is it skip? Is it finish? Or is it punt? This is the top question. Man, I've said this so many times. It's 2 a.m. in the morning. My eyes are crusty. Can barely focus on work anymore. It's just, you know what? It's about time to throw in the towel. It's about time I'm gonna blank this P set.
Everyone's done this at least once. If you haven't, good off, good for you. Extra points, I guess.
At least once, at least twice, 3 times, 4 times. Oh no.
All right. Which of these is not a real MIT hack? Stealing Caltech's cannon and bringing it to Boston, launching a rocket with MIT's banner in Harvard Stadium, putting on Halo armor on John Harvard, that statue, and putting a large MIT in the Stanford dish. I actually have no idea what the answer is to this, but these all sound pretty legendary.
Yeah. I also would like to know what the answer to this one is. You think it's putting a large MIT on the Stanford dish? Does that one sound like an MIT
Yeah.
thing?
I actually don't know. Maybe launching a rocket, like you Course 16 guys would probably be into that.
You know it. All right, we've got 5 questions left. So, how many operational undergraduate dorms are there on campus? And the ones that are under construction and renovation do not count. Is it 9? Is it 10? Or is it 11? Or is it 12? Whoever made these questions and whoever made these answers really did not make it easy for anyone participating. You really got to know your stuff.
For real. I hope at least in your time at MIT, you guys at least visited each dorm, one time for the one time. Like, I think I've been in every dorm except New Vassar so far, which has been pretty cool.
Yeah, I've also gotten the chance to visit every dorm except for New Vassar.
You got this one.
Why do I have to get this one? Which of Donald Trump's relatives was an MIT professor? He has mentioned this a couple times. Is it his uncle? Is it his father? Is it his cousin? Or is it his grandfather?
You really believe like our entire college experience was like the background was Donald Trump. Like the background was really like that whole presidency. That's actually kind of wild.
You know, I'd
And it
go
all
as far as
started,
it wasn't just the background, it was the foreground.
true. And it all started with like that eclipse. I don't think people remember, but like there's a whole solar eclipse that happened basically on like the second day of orientation or something. That was really weird.
Next question.
Okay.
What did Kanye claim about MIT people in a 2019 interview with Big Boy TV? Did he say that y'all are weird as hell? Did he say that I'm smarter than most of y'all? Did he say y'all in a box? Or did he say y'all got time travel on lock? You know, honestly, I would have believed that he said all of these things, but
Yeah, no, that
only one is correct.
yeah, he was kind of wilding for a couple years or many years. But he's still pretty dope as an artist. I have to agree with you on that.
And I have to agree with your agreement.
Okay.
Oh, crap. All right, we've got 2 questions left, everyone. Which 1803 concept did Tony Stark use to unlock the secret to time travel? Was it limit cycles? Was it Laplace transformations? Was it eigenvalues? Or was it Fourier series?
Now, you had to be there when the class was at
Had to
Endgame,
be
bro.
there.
You had to be there because that moment was just like peak nerddom, peak excitement. It was like everyone just knew it was actually crazy. It was actually crazy. That was a really great time for
And you could feel the tension in the theater. Everyone gasped.
yeah.
All right, one last question. What was hoisted into the air in the most iconic picture of Evacuation Week 2020? Was it a suitcase? Was it a cardboard cutout of President Rife? Was it a Purell dispenser or was it a boombox?
Yeah, man. That was quite the time. Like it was like the most distressing time, but also it felt like finals, like when everyone's just done and don't care anymore and everyone's just so excited because like everything was ending. Like that was probably one of like the highlights before, just a very low period afterwards. But like, yeah, right before everyone thought everyone thought they were immune from COVID or something. All right, so I think we're done with trivia. So do you want to like reveal the prize at this point? I don't think it's much of a mystery at this point.
Sure, we'll tell them the prize. The prize for the number one winner, or the winner, number one contestant, is a $150 Amazon gift card, not just for the number one person, but actually for the top 5 people. So we're
Time
gonna
out. Wait. When did you say top 5? When did we ever say 5?
I'm saying top 5 right now. We're gonna be
That's
giving
not in the budget.
$150 shopping spree to the top 5 people.
Bro, that's not in the budget. So as treasurer, I'm gonna let you know right now that was not in the budget. We can't do all that. We can, please, for the love of God, please.
As president, I'm going to override your authority as the treasurer.
That's not cool. How we do this is not in the Kofi design the script. Please stop. Like, please. That's $750. Please.
Okay, and
All right, whatever. Go ahead. Not my problem. Sure. Top
don't worry,
5.
we'll make it happen.
Okay. All right. You're gonna be writing that check.
Why are you so hostile?
Bro, we don't have to. Okay. It's all good. It's all good.
Thank you, Tego and Kofi, for that great hosting. Yeah, previous to this event, we had decided that the top winner would win a $100 gift card. So congratulations to the next 4 in line. So I was personally a little disappointed with my performance. I was 277th. So if Tego or Kofi wants to be really generous, I'd appreciate it. But so now we actually have a scheduled brief intermission to give you all the opportunity to stretch out a bit, to grab a snack or get a drink refill. So make sure to come back because we still have a lot of fun content to share with you all in a keynote by our very own President Rife. In the meantime, we also have another fun challenge to win a $100 Amazon shopping spree. So I don't know if Tego is going to approve of this, but take a picture of you tuning in to Senior Toast and post it on the MIT Class of 2021 Facebook page. The post with the most likes by the end of today will win. So post and like your friends' pictures, and I'm looking forward to seeing all of your Zoom setups. Welcome back, everyone. I hope you were able to enjoy that short break. I've started seeing some photos come through on the Facebook page, and I'm excited to see who will be our final winner. Now to continue our programming. One of the first things you hear when you arrive at MIT is that the people here are what makes it amazing. People over presets. The people, the people, the people. I'd say our class has pretty great people, and we wanted to make sure that we included you in today's programming. So last week, we held interviews with different members of our class and got the inside scoop from them on their last 4 years. Here's what they had to say.
I think one word to define my MIT experience would be overwhelming.
Exhilarating.
Growth.
Eclectic.
I don't know, I'm debating between crazy and magical.
I'd say spontaneous.
I'm gonna go with transformative.
Life-changing.
Adventure. I think I really put myself outside of my comfort zone at MIT.
I think eye-opening.
Eye-opening.
Fun.
Fun. Literally just amazing. I know that that's super vague.
Inspiring.
Pretty chaotic.
Crazy.
Jagged.
Black.
I just want to say like a lot. I mean, that's 2 words, but.
It's a lot. That's 2 words though. School, like academically it's a lot, but also like I got to do a lot of things. I met people from all over the world. I got to travel. There were no little things.
Oh man, this is a personal one for me. At the time, there had been some stuff that was going on. My mom had been diagnosed with breast cancer and she was kind of going through some treatment. I remember that she really wanted me to open up my application decision. She knew that it was Pi Day, she was counting the days down, and she really wanted to just see what happened. And she had a lot of faith that I'd gotten in. And I, sat down next to her, decided to open it in front of her. I got my password wrong a couple times too. And then eventually, hit enter and opened it up to a welcome, congratulations screen. And I was amazed, I was ecstatic. And so was she. This was definitely a shining light, and it was super helpful there.
The previous night, I was pretty nervous, and it showed up in my dreams. I was wondering, well, maybe I didn't get in, and the dream was trying to show me the alternate universe or something.
I was like, I need to manifest this. And so I played Best Day of My Life by American authors in the background.
I think it was one of the happiest moments of my life.
I think part of me was just yes, it's when you've worked so hard for something and you reach the end of it and you've thought about it so much that the conclusion doesn't actually even it means a lot to you, but it's you've thought about it so much that it is just the reality, and that's sort of what it was.
One section of MIT is just really modern, and then the other parts are just really ugly. What's going on?
I remember walking into Next House, that's where I was camped, and just seeing such vibrant life and vibrant communities and people who genuinely enjoy spending time together and just enjoy the life that they make for themselves at school. And I knew by the end of that weekend, yeah, I want to live here for 4 years. I want to be a student at MIT.
I remember stepping out of the car and it was really sunny, but all of a sudden it started drizzling a little bit. So it's a little bit of a sun shower, which I thought was really ironic because it really encompasses the awe that you have when you first step onto campus.
I was getting off the bus and it was just cold rain. All the buildings are gray, everything's ugly. But there was this tent that was playing Got a Lotta by Lil Wayne and handing out these corny straight out of Cambridge tank tops. It was this black guy who was just dancing like a spaz, but he was having fun. I got a tank top from them and they ended up being Chocolate City. So
the first person I made eye contact with and smiled back so warmly at me, and I just felt very good about it. I'm still friends with her now. I just felt very at home and accepted in just expressing who I was, and I thought that was exciting to be comfortable so quickly.
My favorite class so far has definitely been 2008. Basically, you learn how to design and manufacture like items, products on a large scale by making yo-yos. And I was just super, super happy with the yo-yo that I made.
913. It's called The Human Brain. And I just thought it was the coolest class. I feel like every class really just blew my mind. Like our brains were just thinking about brains.
I took poetry workshop my sophomore spring, and it was just really cool because we just were writing poems and then reading them in class. And like for that to be a class, I was like, okay, this is sick. Obviously, this is incredible.
It was my WGS 160 class, science activism, race and gender. I think every MIT student should take this class. We actually learned a lot about activism that has been done by scientists in the past, but specifically like MIT scientists, which is really cool. And we just had really awesome discussions about everything, and everything with COVID was so relevant as well when we were talking. So it was nice to have that relevance, but also think about like what MIT has done in the past about, you know, big social issues and everything.
I would definitely say 1111, the art and science of negotiation.
1111 is almost sort of like a self-discovery class in a sense where you learn more about your own moral compass and what you really value as a person.
So in terms of tests, I take them and then I black them out. So I actually can't remember a specific test taking experience.
I'll never forget my 803 final. I had to pull an all-nighter to actually get that thing done. Like we were watching the time, right? 11 p.m., 1 a.m., 3 a.m., 5 a.m. We watched the sunrise together. I remember going to the exam and it's just died. Like I was looking at the exam and my eyes literally couldn't focus on the paper. My hand was like barely able to hold the pencil. And I was like, oh my God, please let me just get this exam over so I could fall asleep. But yeah, I remember being nearly comatose in that exam, and somehow I pulled off the area.
1401, our freshman spring, I had a pretty bad back injury. I couldn't sit down for like more than 30 minutes without being in pretty severe pain, and so I took the test like lying on the floor in the back of the room.
When I took 512, my freshman spring kind of like bombed like one of the tests. So then the next test, I was like determined to like let that not happen again. And I felt really good coming out of the test. So I like pulled out my phone to text this to my friends. And then I tripped on the last step while I was leaving Walker and sprained my ankle.
How do you feel about Taurus and the infinite?
Can we skip this question?
We're gonna need your authentic response.
That was my authentic response. You had it.
I think that if there were not tourists in the infinite, my walking speed and agility would not be where it is today from having to like, you know, skirt around them.
Get out of my way.
I'm a New Yorker. I grew up in Brooklyn, New York. I want to go somewhere. I want to go. Like, and that's to the tourists, and that's to all y'all students who walk slowly.
I mean, I don't know. It's kind of cool that they're just like touring our school. I think it's cool.
One time we had lunch, but we were taking a photo in Killian, and we left our lunch in lobby 10. And the tourists just went and ate our lunch. They like started eating some of our lunch, and then they started taking pictures of us. It was a very weird experience.
Well, one myth about MIT students that I want to stop. That we're like not cool or that we're boring. That's definitely something about MIT students. Like, oh, like MIT, I bet you like study all the time and like everyone's stressed. And like, yeah, it's true. Like we study a lot and we work hard. But also, part of what I love about MIT is that people are so passionate and love so many different things.
I think in general, everyone knows that MIT students are like super passionate, but their passions go well beyond just like the coding, you know, at 3 a.m. in the middle of like a PSET type of passion. People are passionate about each other, about the things they're part of, about the projects they work on, about the research they do. I mean, it's inspirational.
A lot of people made me think that like MIT was full of like these people that were just robots. But then when I visited, I realized that like everyone at MIT is like super passionate. Like it's actually the opposite. I feel like I've met people who are like intensely passionate about so many different things that they could never be robots. Like, you know, like they just like hammer away at like what they what they love doing, and they like find new avenues to like do it.
Honestly, is that MIT students don't party. Like, the things that I've seen, like, you have no idea, man. MIT students, we're actually the social hub of Boston. Like, other schools can get mad at it, but it's just true. Like, other schools come to MIT to have a good time, especially Chocolate City.
There's a lot. People are always surprised when I say I have fun here, and I'm like, these are the funnest people I've ever been around in my life. So let's like squelch that. The other myth is that like we're all just nerds here, and like maybe. I don't really identify with that term. I stopped identifying that term when I got here because I was like, oh, everyone's like this.
I think a lot of people do love like learning. I think that's the one thing that I can say for sure about MIT students is people do love learning. It might not manifest in, you know, doing a PhD or grad school afterwards, but I think like no matter where you go, like there's a general love for learning. I feel like that's the only thing that people can really pin down. Like that's the one underlying quality for all of us. It's a bit assuming to make any other stereotypes.
Oh, for sure that we're all nerds. Most accurate. I don't think you could find an MIT student who doesn't just sort of wig out about something, you know, and that's amazing. There will always be that crazy, nerdy passion that's so unapologetic, and that's fantastic.
MIT students are definitely like the most driven people I've ever met. They will grind and grind until they finish that piece set, that problem. I mean, the stud 5 during like non-COVID times is like clear evidence of this. Like there's so many people who stay there all night.
Work hard, play hard. I think people work incredibly hard here, but they play even harder, I think.
Like, we work hard and we play hard. Let me say, that is my motto. So yeah, we party a lot. And that is definitely something that I miss.
I think like a lot of them revolve around like being with my friends at odd hours, trying to like finish something.
In freshman year, we kind of just went into like the basement of Baker. He said it until like 4 a.m. But in the progress, we got distracted along the way, and and suddenly we tried to start learning like the worm dance move. The GRA walked in.
It would be like the times that I would like spend, probably be up till like 5 a.m., 6 a.m., just playing video games in the lounge. Actually, no, it wouldn't be that. It would be the time when we all got Nerf guns and started shooting at each other. That would be the most fun memory.
Since everything has gone virtual, I've been like really thankful that we actually had an in-person ring delivery, being with everyone else in the class of 2021, like getting our brass rats.
It's got to be 10 parties. I mean, it was literally an institute-sponsored EDM party, and you don't get to see that often. It was a great night with great music, and everybody was having a good time, dancing, laughing. It was great. Throwback to the simpler times.
When I was in 3091 as a freshman, the professor just straight up called out that Jaden Smith just happened to be attending that class. And so, yeah, I took 3091 in a class with Jaden Smith. I feel like that was pretty iconic.
I laughed, I teared up a bit, and I smiled a lot. Special thanks to everyone who registered for interviews and shared your experience with the rest of us. We have one more item on our agenda, and it's one that I'm sure many of you have been waiting for. When preparing to introduce our next speaker, I asked if there was anything I should mention or if there was a script I was to read. The answer was no, you're free to say whatever you'd like. So with that free reign, I'd like to tell you all a story. So during finals week, my freshman year, a friend and I decided to spend the day in the Hayden Library studying. It had just so happened that we were both fasting because finals week had landed during the month of Ramadan, in which Muslims do not eat or drink from dusk until dawn. While studying, we heard a knock on our glass study room and found someone standing outside holding a basket. After a few moments of shock, we registered that the president of MIT, President Raphael Reif himself, was knocking on our door with a basket. We obviously let him in, and he explained to us that he was going around with cookies for the students in the library as we prepared for finals. I remember thinking how this was just the kindest gesture in the world, but politely having to decline because we couldn't eat. In that moment, President Reif seemed so sad that we couldn't enjoy his surprise. But very quickly, we found him looking around. He grabbed a few napkins and wrapped some cookies up. He told us to hide them so they didn't tempt us, but to make sure to enjoy them after we broke our fast that night. I share this story because I think it encompasses so much of who President Reif has been to me and others during our time at MIT. He's been someone who will go out of his way to support you, even if it means attending a Friday night dance party at McCormick or taking pictures with cardboard cutouts on Killian. I'm so incredibly honored and humbled to be introducing him tonight, and I will finally stop talking so we can hear from President Reif himself.
Boy, thank you, Yara. You should have prepared me for that introduction. That took my breath away. Thank you so much to you, and thank you to the Senior Class Council for including me and for inviting me. I hope you're all enjoying your care packages. I hope, as you can see, I'm enjoying mine. I wish we could be together in space as well as time. But I'm delighted to celebrate the class of 2021 any way we can. And that includes honoring, and I really mean this, honoring the people who made it possible for you to arrive at this moment, the second semester of your senior year. Of course, I'm talking about your families and friends. To all who provided support, encouragement, understanding, and love to our senior class, thank you. I'm more grateful than I can say. Like any other students, you came to MIT to experience real-world, hands-on problem solving. But this past year, the real world nearly took over. It crashed into your academic lives, making massive and unexpected demands. Some of you faced greater obstacles than others, but all of you experienced a new kind of MIT education. And yet you persevered, overcame disappointment and frustration, and adapted creatively to each new challenge the world threw at you. I'm deeply proud of every one of you. And I look forward to the time when we can safely gather for a joyful in-person celebration of your success. For now, let us all raise a glass for a toast. I have mine ready right here. Congratulations to the class of 2021. With all of you as future leaders, I feel quite confident that the world will be in very good hands. That tasted good. And now, stay safe, stay well, and good night.
I don't think I can close this event better than how President Reif just did. Class of 2021, we're almost there, and it's been a wild and unforgettable ride with you all. Thank you all for attending today's toast, and I look forward to celebrating with you all in person in an eventual future. Before we officially end, I want to take the time to thank everyone who made this event and those care packages for you all received this week possible. A special thank you to Ethan Foyer, Allie McNamee, Johnny Lynn, and from the President's Office, Aaron Weinberger, Martha Edison Sinowitz, Susan Cassidy, the MIT Alumni Association, and of course, President Reif. I also want to extend a few personal thank yous. Thank you to my family who are quite literally the reason I applied to MIT. I know I told you I'd never want to go here if I somehow managed to get in, but I was very clearly wrong. This has been the best decision I've ever made, and you always know what's right for me when I don't. I also need to thank you for keeping your voices down so that I could moderate tonight's program. Besides my family, I want to thank my friends for all the all-nighters on Stud 5, nonstop laughter over dinners, and most of all for making MIT a home I'm going to miss. Finally, I want to end with a thank you to Class Council. Today marks exactly 1 year since we all sat in the same room, but somehow we've still managed to feel like we've been together. Kofi, Tama, Tego, Zion, Ashley, Josh, and Anna. Without you all, this event and so many others would not have happened. So I want to welcome all of the class council on the screen. I'd also like to pass the mic to Tama to thank someone very important to her.
Hello, I'd like to take this moment. I did not mention her in my speech, but my little sister Remka, even though you go to the worst school in the world, aka Harvard, just like Yara's sister, I love you so, so, so much. Don't forget that. Also, shout out Elizabeth and Margaret. You're welcome.
Oh, and also a thank you to MVP for hosting all of this and helping us with rehearsals and the platforms.
Thanks for joining us. And for more information on how to connect with the MIT Alumni Association, please visit our website.